Welcome to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
A crane operator in Serbia was working on top of a mountain just next to a mine when he saw something he couldn't believe. It looked like some sort of giant creature, and from a distance he could see it very clear. He got his camera and he started recording it, and this is what he saw.
That sure didn't look like no whale, and the wake that thing was leaving behind it, it looked like it could probably outrun any boat it was after. I think that the videos showing strange things in the water are almost always interesting because we know so little about what's under our oceans. You would have to be pretty ignorant to think that there's nothing down there that we haven't discovered yet. Personally, I'm a little more interested in finding out what's below our feet than I am worried about what's outside of the atmosphere. I think that may be the point, though. Keep us distracted with what's going on overhead so that we don't question what's going on below us. We need Canon or Sony or one of these other camera manufacturers to come out with a camera that can actually withstand the pressures of the depths of the ocean. Then we need to drop a bunch of live feed webcams down there and see what's going on. That's when we'll get our first confirmation of an alien species on Earth.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the latest Mountain Dew flavor, Mango Rush, may be predicting a massive tsunami throughout America? Shout out Maverick.
Wouldn't it be crazy if experts were warning of a massive mega tsunami over 1,000 miles high, which could wipe out parts of America? Like wipe them off the map, baby. Florida in particular, and Oregon is at risk. We'll get into that. You had numerous articles dropping this week regarding this issue. These U.S. areas at risk of being wiped out as experts warn about mega tsunami. This all comes at a time when they're also warning of a mega supervolcano, which is actually under the ocean off the coast of Oregon. So, you know, they say any day now that could erupt, causing a 9.0 magnitude earthquake. Let's go. So the question is Florida ready for another tsunami? A lot of these articles dropping too recently. And now here's Alexa's prediction for Florida in 2025. Enjoy.
Alexa, what happens to Florida in 2025?
On September 4th, 2025 at 3:08 p.m., Florida will be hit by a Category 5 hurricane with winds as high as 205 miles per hour.
The Alexa clip there at the end, I feel like we can ignore that. I rarely listen to predictions anyway, but I'm certainly not going to listen to a prediction from an Alexa device that's telling me the exact date and time that a hurricane is going to wipe out Florida. That's ridiculous. I just put this in here because I just made a video telling people that all these 10,000 earthquakes that they're claiming are going to hit in a 24-hour period are not really anything to worry about. And then they start posting news articles talking about how a tsunami is going to hit and wipe out half of the United States with a 1,000-foot wall of water. According to these researchers that released the study, there's approximately a 15% chance of this happening at some point in the next 50 years. Still not anything to lose sleep over tonight, but you may want to start looking at moving to the other side of the U.S. if you live on the West Coast.
This is the scariest thing I've ever seen. The story I want to tell is from 2000. It's the most compelling encounter that I've seen so far. This lady was in her backyard. She had an apple tree and her apples were getting messed with every night. She hears something. She goes outside and snaps a couple photos and literally catches an image.
Oh my goodness, that is the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, that's so scary. That's legit.
Dude, that looks like an orangutan.
She sends in photos to the Sarasota Police Department. What she reports is, I think there's an escaped orangutan in my yard. Here's the photos. Can you please investigate with like a zoo somewhere? Like if anyone's missing one, it's in my yard. Come deal with it. No one reported anything missing in that area anywhere near that time period.
So many things that we've shared on here that like we looked up, and a lot of the times it's kind of like 50-50 debunked or whatever. I'm looking up this one right now. 100% has not been debunked. All the depictions of Bigfoot, there's been a lot that look like that, like with the hair that come like down like that. So that's
Did you see
for
its
real.
foot though?
No.
At the bottom?
Let me see it.
Is it?
It's the
In the
picture
photo
you
I
sent.
sent?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, it looks like big, gorilla hands, like actual.
A big foot.
A Bigfoot.
What do y'all think of this one? I like looking at this Bigfoot stuff because a part of me feels like we will eventually get concrete proof. I'm just convinced that it's very likely that something like that exists. There has to be something stealing all these people in the national parks. Honestly, though, you would think that if Bigfoot were real, unless they were an intelligent species with the capability of speech or something, you would think that the U.S. government would capture one of those things and then reveal it to the world as the missing link in the theory of evolution. It sure would help convince a lot of people. But if the thing's intelligent, then they'd only be able to pull that off if they presented us with a dead one. I think there's enough evidence, though, to make it plausible that the Bigfoot is out there. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com.
Take a look at some tape of some other members of the Sasquatch family, and you can tell us what we're looking at.
So this is Kubota. He's an elder. And the evidence to substantiate this footage is real is absolutely incredible. Because the eye spacing is non-human. And when you look at this, if it's non-human eye spacing, you clearly can see nasal moving.
There's his face
yeah,
right in there.
I mean, it's clearly the blinking eyes, the wet eyes,
he looks human.
It does, but the spacing between the eyes are not human. And if you saw that in real life, you'd realize the head is, 15 inches across. This is Jake. So a Sasquatch I had incredible live interactions with. He was actually a friend of mine. I considered him a good teacher of mine. There you can see him blinking. And he's gone now. I haven't seen him in many years, which has been very upsetting to me.
You think he died?
No, I think he was a dominant young male and he's gone off. There he is. This is another video of Jake. He's just gone off to somewhere far away.
This is incredible video, Todd. This is absolutely stunning.
And don't take my word for it. Come out with me. I show people this.
What's this?
This is Jake again. This is just I focused on the eye blink there. So I turned up the exposure, and all my stuff is documentary style. So I can turn up saturation like I do in this one. Saturation gets turned up, but just so you can clearly see that individual. And again, eye spacing is non-human. And I proved that head, oh my God, but my head is 7 inches across. That head is like 16 inches across. My head fits just over the passage of his nose. This is a female. I call her Jane. That's the daughter of Seeger. And my colleague Ashley has incredible success with her. It was amazing to me. My native teacher, so I initially thought this was just a male Sasquatch. My native teacher, here she is from a different angle, looked at that and said, wow, you filmed a female. Years later, I saw breasts on her, and I've seen her around, and I gauge what female Sasquatch do based on her tracks, which are the same size as the Patterson footage, and her interactions and the way she shows herself.
I'm absolutely going to have to go watch this full video and hear the story behind this. That is hands down the clearest footage I have ever seen of what was proposed to be a Sasquatch. Did this guy just prove their existence? And he's saying that he takes people out to see these things? I need to figure out how to get on one of those trips. I think this is fascinating. This guy is actually releasing footage that's clear enough to make determinations off of. They need to get this footage analyzed immediately and find out if this guy is giving us legitimate footage of an actual living being, or if he just has a secret talent of creating highly realistic looking Bigfoot costumes. That footage is phenomenal if it's real.
I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, Albie Shore, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim's dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know, You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning is gone.
Yeah, you can't say that ain't suspicious, especially after all the accusations that have come out about him supposedly poisoning Jamie Foxx and other people. It looks like this was this guy's plan from the start, to start this blackmail-funded music label and just dispose of anyone who got in his way. It looks like he's always been this guy. He just finally got exposed. I bet the stuff he's in the spotlight for right now, he's not even sweating over. The guy's probably done so much bad stuff that he's probably just grateful that they haven't figured out his real crimes yet. I just wish all the details about this case would come out already so the people who deserve it can have their spotlights taken away from them. They need to quit dragging this thing out and let everybody know who is involved in those freak-off parties.
Had the opportunity over the years to interview, again, people who have worked at the test site at Groom Lake. One gentleman spent 12 of his 30 years in black programs at Groom Lake. When I asked him, I said, first of all, I said, do you believe in UFOs? And he looked at me with a straight face in one-on-one. He said, absolutely, positively, they do exist. I said, can you expand upon that? And he said, no, I can't. About a year later, we were talking about, again, activities at Groom Lake. And I asked him, I said, you know, can you really tell me what's happening out there? And he said, well, there's a lot of things that are going on there that I won't be able to tell you until the year 2025. But we have things in the Nevada desert that would make George Lucas envious. Another individual who was an NCO, an E9, which is the highest grade you can get as an enlisted man. He's a chief master sergeant in the Air Force. Was a safety specialist. He had 3 different tours of duty at Groom Lake on various programs. Now, he had no connection with my friend who worked on the other black programs. We were talking, I interviewed him at Nellis in 1985, 86 time frame. And I said, what's out there? And again, he looked me straight in the eye and he said, we have things out there that are literally out of this world. I said, explain. He said, I can't.
All the evidence is pointing toward this being the year of disclosure, but don't get too excited. Although it would appear that this is going to be the year that we get confirmation on aliens, so to speak, it would also appear that the government has been planning the rollout of this timeline for a very long time. So all the talk about the increase in activity, or the reports that there's some mothership out in space that's headed our way that's going to get here in 3 years, all the reasons they're going to state as to why they have to disclose this stuff to the public to begin with, it would appear to me that even their reasons for disclosure are deceitful if they've been planning this rollout since the 80s. I used to get excited at the idea of a government hearing filled with details and information about aliens, where they were finally going to let the public know what was going on. But now I'm not certain I'd even take it seriously when it happens. They're just going to lie to us. There's going to be some agenda involved. We will never just get the truth.
A group of friends who went on holiday to Spain. The friends can be seen in an elevator that kept taking them to the 16th floor.
So it's been doing this for a minute, and there's nothing out there. You're too heavy. Ah, yeah, Sergio, ascensor. Man, you've been hit. You need to hit that gym. Mr. Dad, 88 kilograms. What's going on? You wanna figure it out? Yeah. All right. No, that did something. No. What is going on?
Are we too heavy? Is there someone there? What?
This particular floor has been undergoing construction for some time and isn't currently available to any guests of the hotel. Now it seems like it's just a strange one-time incident, but multiple staff members have reported the same malfunction. The elevator seems to take people up to this dark 16th floor.
Yo, so this elevator is acting mad weird. We started a few floors up, and
The very next day, they use this elevator again, and things take a horrifying turn.
Alright, so the power is out. The backup, yeah, there you go. The backup generator's been coming on and off. We've been having the time of our lives. And yeah, we're like cooking alive.
The elevator comes to a sudden halt and the lights go out. It turns out there was a power outage affecting this area of Spain while they were in the elevator. The backup generator turns on, but for some reason doesn't function properly, so the light just flickers on and off. Bored with nothing to do in the elevator, the friends decide to mess around when something utterly terrifying happens.
There you go. Oh. Oh, he's cooking something.
What are you doing?
Yep. Yep.
I gotta pee.
Oh, you gotta pee.
It's making my bladder.
bladder.
I gotta pee.
You gotta pee.
Well, like a rapper. So go. I gotta pee. I'm holding my bladder.
Yep.
I gotta pee. I don't know what else is going on. I gotta pee. It's making me mad. On like so. I gotta pee. Angry like Bowser.
Guys, this is probably the worst thing anyone's ever done.
Right behind one of the guys, a small dark figure can be seen in the corner of the elevator, steadily rising up. Nobody seemed to notice at the time until watching the footage back later on, leading them to believe a strange force must have been behind the events. And they are further convinced by this after some time passes and they manage to get out. Watch closely.
We're moving.
Fine. Thank you.
Where are we going?
Oh, wait. Stop. No. No.
That's the same one as before.
No.
Alright.
Strangely, after being stuck in the elevator for a few hours, it suddenly begins to work and takes them straight to the 16th floor, releasing them into the dark space. After being in there for so long, they were just happy to get out of that elevator and quickly ran downstairs after hearing something strange on that floor. Many people believe that the dark figure is something that resides on the 16th floor, attempting to lure people up there somewhere.
I know that one wasn't terrifying or anything, but it is very difficult to find videos that seem like they might be legitimate, and this one didn't have anything counting against it that I could think of. They clearly didn't set this video up. They couldn't have known that the power was going to go out in all of Spain while they were in the elevator. And yeah, they absolutely could have added the shadow figure in later with CGI if they wanted to get more eyes on their video, but I think they would have gotten just as many views if they had just posted it as a regular video with a title stating that they were trapped in an elevator during the power outage in Spain. I don't think they needed the ghost element to make this video interesting. I don't have any idea of what that was, but I do think we finally found something that looks real.
The funeral director who often visits haunted locations and collects strange artifacts. One day he acquired a picture of Wigan Town Centre from the 1940s, and the artist took his own life shortly after completing the picture. Not long after hanging this up inside his house, strange things began to happen. Just recently, he starts hearing banging sounds around his house and decides to record. Take a look.
Okay, I've been hearing banging for a good little while now. It comes from the bathroom door over there and then from the front. Do you hear it? Did you hear that? I'm just literally about to pick something to watch and I can hear banging on the... Can you hear it? It's this door.
A dark shadow can be seen behind the door, then knocking is heard next to him. A few minutes later, this happens.
Hello? Hello? What? Oh my god, are you okay? I don't know what is going on in here today. Oh my god. I'm completely on my own in here as well. There's no room in here either.
Many objects move on their own and a creepy voice can be heard. Then when he opens the door to check the source of the knocking, he finds nothing there. A few weeks later, on May the 14th of 2025, he falls asleep on the couch and wakes up to the feeling of someone stroking his face. This is what he captured.
Okay, I've just started filming because I fell asleep on the couch and woke up to what felt like somebody stroking the side of my face, which made me jump awake, but I don't know if it was a dream, but then the room is icy cold and just noises coming from the kitchen. Hello? Hello? Can you hear that? It's coming from outside, well, the kitchen there. Hello? Oh my god. The candlestick on the door's just bloody opened. What the hell? Hello? Oh my god. It makes you nervous to fall asleep on the couch, it really does. It's horrible. What the? That's just hit my leg. What? Oh. Sophie, okay? The cat's just legged it as well. Oh my god. What is going on in here? What? Just sound like somebody sat down on the chair. This. Off. I'm going to the garden. I'm not staying in here.
The door in the back opens by itself and then some objects launch off the table. In the end, he decides he's had enough and goes out into the garden to catch his breath. Could this picture really be haunted?
This is either the single best faked ghost video that I've ever seen, or this guy has invited an evil spirit into his house. If you go back and rewatch the moment just before that coffee cup gets jerked off the table, there's a moment, just a second, right before it goes flying off the table. You can actually see the liquid on the inside of the cup splash up the wall on the inside of the cup as if someone has smacked it, but the cup doesn't move an inch. Amazing footage. I think this may be real. If it's not real, this guy has me fooled. This would have taken an entire team of people to pull this off, and I'm not convinced it would have been done so convincingly. I will say though that this guy posts content like this regularly, as hauntings and the paranormal seem to be the main focus of his TikTok channel, but most of his content is storytelling and showing what he believes to be haunted artifacts. I think this guy may have an unwanted guest. I think this one is real.
Y'all remember that witch that came out and straight up said Beyonce was a witch?
No, okay, I didn't know, because you know they tell me Beyonce's a witch like that.
Oh,
that
she
we
is.
should be scared. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's an Ifa. So when she wears her yellow, that's Oshun.
Well, she came back and had a little more to say about Beyonce. But stick around to the end of the video because what I'm gonna show you is gonna really blow your mind.
Visual that she did.
Yellow, she did Oshun. Riches and beauty and love, all those things, yes.
And she put it in a video.
Yeah.
Was she
'cause it's
supposed
not-
to film that?
No, that's fine. First of all, Oshun loves that. Like, you have to have parties for her. You have to be beautiful in her day. Like how she had that dress and that. It's like a tiara, but it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. She loves those things. She loves everything pretty and girly and riches. So Beyonce.
What is it? I hear so much about it. What is it though?
She's crowned Oshun, and so Oshun signifies everything that I just noted.
Yeah.
So basically, she has these parties and gives her offerings and things like that for her blessing.
Is that what the fruit is?
Yeah, that's what the fruit is.
So Beyonce's a witch.
Well, a lot of people are witches and don't know it.
I'm looking at the camera like, y'all hear this? Like,
yeah, and I actually want to talk about that because there were so many people that made videos of our last interview, and they like twisted my words and said that I said that Beyonce was into devil worship or that she was a demon. And I don't even think I said the word demon.
You saying
I
that.
did not. Like, oh, she said she's crowned Oshun. I'm like, Oshun is a beautiful deity. Beyonce is amazing. Her energy is really high too. It's just that people don't understand orishas. They don't understand root work. They don't understand witchcraft. So what do? They make it devil worship and demonize it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing devil worship about what Beyonce does, at least with the orishas. With what she's doing with when she dresses like that and, you know, she gives offerings and things like that. That is beautiful, actually.
Like, I guess when she goes to do offerings, she's doing offerings. Is it a love offering or is it a conjuring offering? Like, does she do her own? So she's a priestess like you, is what you're saying?
She could be. I don't know if she's initiated. But I'm saying she's been crowned. You can be crowned and not be initiated as far as a priestess. You could be crowned. That tells you you're in like their coven or their house or whatever. But that doesn't mean that you're a priestess. Like, you can't crown someone else. Like, there's levels to it.
So she's talking about the first time where she mentioned Beyonce being a witch and how we all talked about how it was demonic. But she's saying she never said it was demonic. However, she doesn't understand that anything outside of a source of the true living God is demonic. That's why we said it's demonic. To her, of course, it's not going to be demonic. She's in the midst of it. She's coming to agreement with those demonic spirits. But to us, looking from a perspective of truth, yes, we absolutely know it's demonic because it's not from the source of the true living God. Beyonce is giving an altar and sacrifices and fruit and food to an Orisha, which is a deity named Oshun, which means Beyonce is from the Ifa religion, where the creator is not Yahweh, but Oludumare, where the mediator between man and the divine is not Christ Jesus, but Ashu. You see how there's a difference there? But here's what I wanted to show you guys for those who made it to the end of this video. And this is about to shock you. Beyonce Knowles has an alter ego. Yes, you guessed it right. Her alter ego's name is Sasha Fierce.
Sasha is my alter ego. When they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha. I'm more reserved and nothing like Sasha.
There you have her speaking of herself as if it's a different person. But here's what you guys probably never knew or never expected. There's a book. Boy, oh boy. There's a book called Book of Shadows, ladies and gentlemen. Wiccan Spells. And you know who wrote the book? Take a close look at the name. Sasha Fierce. And look what the book is about, guys. Spells, pagan spells, black and white magic spells. And the author's name is Sasha Fierce. Listen to me. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. Now, we've been back and forth on this situation for a good 2-3 years now, okay? We've shown different things, even from the place of her drummer of 5 years, Kimberly Thompson, filing a restraining order on her for extreme witchcraft. Now we've come to a point in a place where we've seen a whole book written by an author named Sasha Fierce. And the book is about black magic. You can't make this stuff up.
If you pause that and read the book description, it says the author is a guy, so I don't think Beyonce wrote that book. However, I will admit it looks suspicious. The book came out in 2017, and the description of the book says that it's written by a well-known Indian spiritualist healer, but I couldn't find a single photo of this guy or a single article talking about him. If I had to guess, this is just someone trying to cash in on the name recognition that comes along with naming yourself after Beyonce's alter ego. In regards to the witchcraft stuff, she's clearly worshiping Satan. She just doesn't understand what she's messing with. She thinks that she's smart enough to interact with the spirit world and only be influenced by the good ones. But if she isn't following the one true God, then to my understanding, she doesn't have access to anything but the bad ones. And that's why everyone made that connection after that girl's initial podcast appearance. She said exactly what everyone claimed she had said. She just didn't understand the true meaning of what she was saying.
This is written in 91 AD. At the same time, there appeared in Judea an extraordinary person called Jesus, if it be lawful to call him a man. He was a famous worker of miracles, a teacher of those who were desirous of receiving the truth in simplicity, and brought over to him many disciples, both Jews and Gentiles. This was the Christ, whom Pilate, as the accusation of the princes and the great men of the nation, delivered up to the ignominious punishment of the cross, notwithstanding which those who first loved him did not forsake him. He appeared to them alive again the third day after his crucifixion, with numberless other wonders concerning him. And thence to this day there is a set of people who bear the name of Christian, as owning him for their head, Lord, and Master. My.
And this is our good clip of the day. I had made mention in yesterday's video that there is historical records and evidence of Jesus outside of Scripture, and that I was not aware of that until I started making these videos. I wanted to add this video for those of you who were as shocked at that revelation as I was whenever I first discovered it. And this is not the only mention of Jesus outside of Scripture. Again, it's not my job to tell anyone what to believe in, but I feel like everyone should be aware of this. Otherwise, you're working off partial information, and that's no way to come to a conclusion. Jesus is widely considered to be well recorded in history. Even historians who do not believe in him being the Son of God still agree that he was a real man who lived and was crucified according to historical text outside of the Bible written by Tacitus. The Jewish historian Josephus even mentions John the Baptist in his writings. This should be common knowledge. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back soon with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com. And don't forget to drop a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.